And after this weekend, what we saw was John Mateer performing really well, of course, and we broke down some of what we saw from John Mateer, but he's starting to silence some of the doubters, and that's what Oklahoma fans are very excited about. And there's been a lot of hype for John Mateer and what he's capable of this season. Some people picked him for season, and I think some people thought that maybe he could be. And I will throw this out there: he did earn SEC Offensive Player of the Week. He deserved that. He had a phenomenal offensive game, and I also think. I think there's other offensive players you could definitely shout out. Deion Burks had a really big game. Satania, even though Satania had some mishaps during this game, and he's got some things that he could learn from, he performed really well. And he had some really big plays when they mattered the most. And so he turned it around, had some really big plays. And then you also had Jaron Kanik, I think, is another guy that you've got to throw in there for a guy that really had some really good plays. I mean, just an all out baller. And I love to see how much that we've got playmakers that we can watch week in and week out here on this Oklahoma team. But first, NCAA Football Nation, that's one that you see that they're giving a little bit of recognition to John Mateer, putting him at the top of the rankings for Heisman. Another is College Football Report. They kind of show the rankings there. They give their rankings and kind of favor John Mateer again up there at number one, moving him up to the top. And I don't know where they would have had this is actually, following week 2. So, I mean, you got John Mateer up there at the top again by another pretty big account. And then, of course, the biggest one, I think the one that got the most attention is On3. They took a college football week 3 Heisman poll, and it ended up putting, I mean, this is a popular vote, and it puts John Mateer up at the top of the list. Now, of course, we can't get too ahead of ourselves. We can't get too excited, but this is really good stuff from John Mateer and really good overall. I mean, just he's a playmaker. We saw it game 1. We saw what he's capable of, shooting over 80%, and then, of course, throwing over 80%. And then, of course, in game 2, another solid performance over that 71% mark and putting up numbers, 4 total touchdowns on the day. He's showing it, and he's leading the team in so many different stats and rushing, which concerns me, but I think that that's going to kind of work itself out. I mean, John Mateer is a dude, all right, and he's showcasing that. If he keeps this up, I don't see how many others can really jump ahead of him. And honestly, if he keeps this up, if the defense keeps on doing what we know they can do, this is a dangerous team. And I think there's finally some valid hopium for Oklahoma fans right now. I think Oklahoma fans are finally feeling confident about all the hype that was put into this team, and John Mateer is a huge part of it. Now, I don't know how I could really say. I mean, I want to put others above him because I'm trying not to be biased. But when I look at the field of guys, especially the guys that maybe On3 puts on here, I don't really know too many other players in the nation that I could really put above John Mateer and what he has meant to Oklahoma. When you talk about what the Heisman means, showing up and being the most valuable player on your team and showcasing with stats, leadership on and off the field, what he's put together this season so far, I don't know if I could put many players above him. He really has been absolutely phenomenal, and I've been ecstatic to see him perform the way that he has. And man, he's a ball maker. He's a ball player for sure, and he's a playmaker. He's going to do some special things in Norman. I think Oklahoma fans are taking notice of it. Oklahoma fans are feeling excited about it, and of course, this is a team that we can really be excited about. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts on him. Is it too soon for the hype? Is maybe it did it come a little too late? Let me hear your thoughts. What you think about John Mateer and what we're seeing from him so far this season?